Hello and welcome to the 16th edition of Riff Testing, where I take things and I test them out by writing riffs. Today we're looking at the Janzi Kit from Hansen Audio. Adam Janzi is known for being the drummer of Vola, and this is his drum kit, and he played all the samples. Jacob Hansen is a producer from Denmark, who's probably best known for his work with Amaranth, but has worked with lots of other bands, and he also mixed and mastered one of my favorite albums, Nightbringers from the Black Dahlia Murder. This library kit uses the contact-free player like a lot of other popular ones do, so if you are familiar, this will be the same thing as always. This kit features 1 kick, 4 snares, 2 toms, and a whole bunch of cymbals. The toms can be either coated or clear, and some of the cymbals you can switch out. Yeah, there we go. I think this is the most interesting thing about the kit, is a lot of these, rock or metal kits, they just have a couple crashes and a couple chinas, and they call it a day. Here we have splashes, bells, and a couple different stacks, which all give you a lot of variety that you can work with. The snares are pretty wildly different, so let's take a listen. So we have this one. This is the Pearl Deluxe. Then we have the Sensatone, which is kind of similar. And then we have the Pearl Free Floating Brass, which, if I remember correctly, is wildly pingy and seems like you would use it on a reggae album. And then we have the Virgil Donati. On this track, I used the Pearl Deluxe. Down here, we have our articulations all written out. So, like every drum kit ever, the kick is C, and your snares are up here. And then you'll see here there's actually a lot of different hi-hat variations. These purple ones are all hi-hat, and then we have all these other cymbals to work with too. And like most other kits, when you play the track, you can see which drums are being played, which is actually kind of helpful when you have so many cymbals and you might lose track of what you're doing. Alright, so let's move on. Let's take a look at the mixer. So there's actually a lot of different things you can do in the mix section. So we have kick, snare, toms, crashes. We've got everything up here. You can go through all of them one by one. There's a master volume, which is important. They can all be pitched. They can all be shaped, which I'm not entirely sure how this is EQing. And then there's a turbo, which I think is some kind of compression. And then we have width, pan, and our kind of standard stuff here, mute, solo, phase, and we have faders for each one. So here in, sub, overhead, close room, medium room, far room, and attack. So this is kind of a cool thing about all these drums. Some of them have an attack or a sustain mic blended in. You can kind of do that to taste. But here's the secret thing about this, is if you click on FX, you have this window, and there's actually a lot of things you can do here. So we have an equalizer. So 4-band equalizer, you can change the low frequency to a bell, or keep it a shelf or whatever it is. Same thing up here. You have a transient designer with attack and sustain. You have a compressor, and you have tape saturation. And then down here we have different types of reverb that you can do, long and short, and you can blend those into taste as well. So this is for every single mic you can put these effects in. So you can get into the nitty-gritty quite a bit. So just remember to click on this and then click out of it when you want to look at something else. And also, very importantly, there's this thing down here for doing the routing. So this is the thing I do not like about using a contact player, is there's no simple way to do routing like there is an SD3 or Ugratone. You have to kind of assign all these, and it's kind of a drag. That's why I didn't do it for this track, because I didn't feel like it. Anyways, let's move on. One-shots. We have a one-shot loader, which is pretty cool. I didn't mess around with it a lot, but basically you just drag and drop the sample here. They can be pitched and blended here, and same thing, you mute, solo, phase, yada yada. And the nice thing is they have this here is for using the one-shots with the wire off, the center, so you can, if you want to incorporate the one-shots into the other articulations. It's kind of hard to read actually. Wire off, center, and rim click. It has rim click and center for these two as well. Next, this comes with a bunch of grooves. So this is, I guess, some kind of more generic grooves here. Okay, so I lied. They're not actually that generic. They're pretty cool. Maybe I should mess around with these more. And then we have Vola grooves, which are, of course, grooves from Vola songs. I think it was a bit of a missed opportunity to not put 24 Light Years on here, but I digress. All right, now let's move on to the mapping. So here you can kind of look at all the mapping for all the various articulations. I think most kits have something like this now, and the cool thing is it has a mapping thing here for if you want to carry MIDI over from another set you're using, and you can kind of just do this. I used it a little bit. I tried doing it with Superior Drummer. It wasn't exactly the same, but I guess maybe it would have been faster than doing everything manually. I don't even know what some of these are, to be honest. What is Fairview? If someone has used this, please let me know in the comments. But of course, Crim drums, very popular. Drum Forge, Easy Drummer, Stephen Slate, yada, yada, yada. So that's kind of self-explanatory. If you use this, don't expect everything to just go right away, because a lot of these kits, there's different versions of them, different presets, whatever. So you kind of have to be careful. Just don't assume, oh yeah, I'll just put this on and then everything's going to sound exactly how I want. It probably won't, but it'll save you a little bit of time. And on the last one, we have the info. This is kind of a cool page, because in case you want to know more about these drums, buy them, try recording them yourselves. It has all the information here. And of course, there's a lot of symbols because it lists every part of the stacks that he made. So, it tells you what was on the bottom and what are the two on the top. And you can kind of go through all of that. And also, if you want to do some recording or, you want to just get a feel for how they did it, it has what mics they used and into what pre's, which is very cool. I was kind of not ready to see that they used an RE20 on the toms. That's kind of cool. So just little things like that are nice to know a little bit more about how they got the sounds that they did. And then here, of course, it has the team. The most important thing is the drummer and the guy who recorded everything, but also, has who did the editing, lights, yada, yada, yada. So if you want to contact any of these people or look into other things they've done, you can do that. So now I'm going to play the track again with the drums in solo and sort of mess around with the settings as I go. You can see up here that I use the Jacob Hansen starter as a starter for my mixing. So what you're hearing is what I came up with after a whole lot of tweaking. If you want to purchase the Janzi Kit, you can get it at hansenaudio.shop. And of course, I will have a link to it in the description below. All right, well, that's it for today. What did you guys think? Please let me know in the comments. If you like what you heard, please consider subscribing or leaving a like or a comment. It'll really help the channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time. If you made it this far, I just wanted to let you know that I've recently released new music with Vision Swords and Venomous Beings. All links will be in the description below.